The Adventures of Morning Gardener Man. Let me stop. Had a great day today. Um, got 5 more bags of manure. And one thing I did do, I wasn't going to do it, but I did it anyway. I went and bought 2 markdown bags that the bags had holes in them. And I went ahead and got them. And I got them for $2. The same quantity in them as a bag that didn't have a hole in it, but I got the 2 bags with the holes in it. And when I got them from four, I think they're like 4.98 or 4.85 or four something like. They're $4.90. Let's just say, for argument's sake, um, for $4.90 marked down to $2. Yes, yes, yes. Now that that means to me that I save money, and I like saving money. Um, I bought that, and it is done. I have no more items to buy from the store concerning my garden, and that's how that's going to roll. No more items to buy from the store to save. This is to get my garden together because everything's been. I got the cups, the compost. I got peat moss, a whole big bale of that peat moss, and I'm all set for that. It's getting ready to snow outside. It looks like, and and I'm off tonight, which is great. Oh, that's great. So the next thing I'm going to do is make this video because um, I'm, I'm at work encouraging people to get their garden started now. Um, I've been talking to people from Black Cow. Oh, hello. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll go to chat let me tell you what's going on. Um, I'm all set for my garden. I'm all set. And I'd like to know from you, would before it starts snowing out here tonight, would you like me to go out and shoot a couple videos of the yard, a couple tour around the yard, and that way I can put that up this evening and you'll see it. If you like me to do that, says shoot the video, and I'll shoot the video and put that up tonight. And that way you'll be able to see, the bags of compost, the trees, how they look, and the most wonderful thing of all is I'm all set. I am set. Um, Planning stage is almost complete. I know that I'm gonna do tomatoes. I've been telling people if you do tomatoes, especially if you're growing your own seedlings, uh, don't. If you need 4 plants, oh hello, how you doing there? Well, definitely do that. Okay, I will. I will. Okay, thank you for weighing in on that. I appreciate it. Um, I have I have definitely got all of my garden supplies. I was saying that earlier, and also I'm going to do my own seedlings this year, like I do every year, because I save money. I refuse to give somebody $3 and $4 for one single plant. I cannot do that. Will not do it. Um, and for those who do, more power to you. That's all I got to say. More power to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grow my own seedlings. Now, it's a little trick to growing the seedlings. I've actually set up my own little greenhouse, and you'll see that in the days to come when I start rolling those type of videos. Um, but what I'll do is you you get your heat mats. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them online, wherever heat mats. And some people actually get very fancy with it, where they actually get the thermostat controlled Wait, I want to do that this year. Thermostat control heat mats. So they plug the heat mats in, they can control the temperature of the heat mats. Well, the way mine is set up, I can't control my temperature of my heat mats. I only let them just roll at whatever temperature they are. And it'd be nice to have some kind of way of being able to control the temperature of the heat mats. Um, because certain plants don't want very high temperatures. So it'll give you that advantage. Now, once they start appearing from the medium that you're using, and sometimes I use I start them out in cow manure with a 50-50 mix of cow manure and peat moss and sometimes a perlite or vermiculite. I do that. Let's see. All righty. Uh, and so what I'm trying to do here is get everything going. Now, you don't need them, uh, 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 with that heat mat, because what'll happen is you leave the heat mat on there, get long and lanky, and you don't want your plants to be that way because they're very vulnerable to get broken and that's just well, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of money for $4 for seedling, but people are paying that for one single plant. When you go to Walmart and they yeah, yes, you would definitely notice your pocket going empty when you buy a plant. It has a year warranty on it, but for $3 and $4 per plant, that's just hello, how you doing? That's just something you don't want to be just throwing your money right out the window. So here's what I do. I get my medium that I'm going to use. I make sure everything's up to temperature. Make sure everything's around 65, 70 degrees, the medium. And then you put them in any containers you're going to use. And I sprinkle in let's say if I'm doing tomatoes, I sprinkle in my tomato seeds. The seeds go in, maybe it might be 6 or 7 of them at a time. Cover them over, water them with a very it's a fertilizer that I call half strength. So whatever it says, add to a gallon of water, you add half that. Some people use Miracle Grow. I choose not to grow my plants. Get them addicted to steroids. But if you use a liquid fertilizer, they have a very nice ones that are in the stores, or you can make your own. The thing about it is you want a very weak solution. That's what you want to do. And that means that whatever if they say add 1 teaspoon per gallon, of course you add half of that per gallon or even less. Now, you pour that in to water it. If you have a hard seed like okra, for instance, you put them in a warm glass of water, about maybe that much, and you simply allow them to sit in that water for you know, about 2 to 3 days. And once you get that done, you put them into your medium at that point, cover them over, and they'll automatically start popping out of there. That's one way to really get them done a lot quicker. You can do the same thing with watermelons. You do the same thing with cucumbers. But if you do cucumbers in that fashion, you only want to do it for probably about 24 hours. Let it just soak, and then take it out and then put it into your medium, and it'll jump right out of the ground. They do it a lot faster that way. I'm just saying, if you don't want to wait around 7 and 8 days and all that sort of thing, 10 days, you can go ahead and soak the seeds. Um, Tomato seeds, I wouldn't, recommend you do them that way because it's a very soft seed. You only want to do seeds that way. They kind of like have a shell on them and they're kind of hard. But the very hard seeds, like I said, okra, a very hard seed. And there's a couple other, I can't quite think of them right now, but they're very hard seeds. Those kind of plants you want to definitely let them soak for about 2 to 3 days, and then add them to your medium and that sort of thing. Another tip is always grow more than what you actually need. More. If you think you need 3 tomato plants, do 6 or 7 tomato plants. Maybe do 10 if but make sure you have them on hand because it's easier to have 10 plants than it is just to have 3 and you have one die and then you got to start over You can't get that time back, and especially where I live at here in Maryland in Zone 7B, the seeds uh, definitely have well, you definitely have a short growing season here. I think it's like 3 months or something like that. So I like to start mine in February to get them all started. And the time I put them out there, I got pretty good sized plants. Now, I'll give you an example. I grow all year. This is a little bit of garlic that I got growing right now. And each time I break this off and I add it to my soups and things like that, it grows back like this. Now, keep in mind, I am not babying these. I don't baby my plants. I do not treat my plants like they princesses and prince or whatever. I simply uh, go in the refrigerator, get the garlic out, put it in a shallow bowl of water, and I let them root out in about 3 days. I got nice roots on it. Once I get those nice roots, I simply add them to the pot, space them out good, um, and water them in with that solution I told you about before. You could use it. You could make your own fertilizer solution, or you could buy a fertilizer solution, a liquid feed. I do that too. When you're planting something in, you want to give it a quick shot of a liquid fertilizer so that it doesn't go through a shock. And then you could press into the soil a very small amount of fertilizer. And I like to use the organic fertilizers. But organic fertilizers are pretty good. Organic fertilizers are really nice. I like those. Um, so you can make them. You could buy them, but it's a better deal if you can make them yourself. Um, Once you get these plants up in size and the days start warming up, when you start getting into your 50-degree nights, that's when you want to start considering putting certain plants outside, like potatoes and things like that. Get those going, and carrots, all your early season stuff. You want to go ahead and put that out there and get it started. As the nights start warming into your 60s and 70-degree nights, now you can start putting out everything from tomatoes to cucumbers and all that. Bring them outside for an hour, bring them back in a lighted area, but not direct sunlight. You want to do that because the sun can do damage to them plants in a matter of a few minutes. So once you get them out there and you get the plants, you're trying to harden them off. Put them out there an hour. Then the next day you bring them out. You bring them out for 2 hours, and then the next day you bring them out for 3 hours, and then after that pretty much you just keep monitoring them. And what you're trying to do is get them hardened off. After about a week or so, they should be hardened off, and then you start planting them out where you want to plant them at. Try not to let them stay in the small pots too long, because once they become root bound, really root bound, that can stunt the plant, and you don't want the plant stunted. You want it to, be familiar with stretching its roots out. You don't want it to be a plant that you're going to definitely have a problem with later on that doesn't produce well. That's all I want to say on that subject. Um, Watermelons can be grown in containers. Keep that in mind. A 5 gallon bucket with what you want to do is about an inch from the bottom, drill holes around the bucket, get about maybe 6 holes in there, 3/4 inch drill, drill some holes in that bucket, and that way it always got a reservoir of water in there. Fill it up with a nice medium with like a sandy kind of mix. You could start the season doing with the watermelons. Some people tell you that watermelons don't like to be moved around. Well, if you gentle with them and you water them before you slide them out of the cup, um, then you slide them down in this medium. As I said before, use the liquid feed at half strength, and once you got it going, put it in a sunny location and let the watermelon do what it do. Cantaloupe can be done the same way. You could get into some of this stuff as being what we call it container plants. You could definitely get away with that with those type plants. Yep, I enjoy it, folks. I enjoy it 24/7, around the clock. I'm always into it, and I think that I actually know that for a fact I'm addicted to it. I actually know that. but it's a very good addiction. I have a problem with, if I wasn't around a garden, I would have a problem. I would definitely have a problem. This is what I do. This is what I enjoy doing. This is what I enjoy doing. It is incredible to take tiny seeds and grow them into big plants, or to take seeds that you bought from the store that they created, they bred to be, kind of weak. Because for most plants, you buy are kind of weak, whether it be from seeds or whether it be seedlings that you bought from the store. They have to have a certain amount of water, and they have to have a certain amount of food. They have to have every week they got to be fed and all that, and they're pretty weak. But if you raise a seed, you take 10 tomato plants, you put them out there, and you water them every once in a while, and you feed them little to not very much, and you let that plant toughen up. Some of the plants are going to die, but some of them are going to survive. And you get the seeds from that survivor, and you do this again next year, and you do this again the following year, you will actually develop a tomato that is much more durable than what you originally started out with. Because those plants were bred to grow in the finest, most nutritional soil there is on the planet. And that's how they breed them. I mean, that's how they put them together. And that's why a lot of us don't have a lot of success with certain plants, because they were bred a certain way. And if you don't give them exactly what they need, they start to perish on you. And if you can give them, if you give them just enough food to survive on, just enough water to survive on, the plant is going to become tougher. Because that's why the weed survives like it does. Nobody pampers it, nobody feeds it, nobody comes around and plucks away the other weeds so it can survive. No, a weed will survive right there in that location regardless, because it is tough. It is born for that climate. It is the way it was, it's going to do well regardless, because nobody else is going to look out for it. But your plant was bred in such a way that if all conditions aren't met, the plant starts to have a hard time surviving. So that's how that is. And so to realize that and know that when you put your plants in the ground, you don't overfeed it, because nobody would overfeed you. If you could eat a burger, but why would somebody give you 30 burgers at one time? You can't eat that much. And plants are basically the same way. If you give it enough food so the plant is fed, you give it enough water so the plant is watered. Nobody gives you water. Nobody gives you water and dumps in 30 gallons of water on your head and says, here's some water. So you don't do that with plants. You simply take a plant. You just bring in a simple plant, and you just do the best you can with it. But you feed it a regular amount that in your heart and mind this is not too much food. And all those measurements that people got going around, putting it in a teaspoon, a lot of us follow it religiously because we don't know any better. All you got to do is, a lot of times, I have more successful plants right now because I use common sense. I treat my plants just like if they were me. I know when it's cold, I said, no, I don't want to give them synthetic fertilizer. I want to give them a good quality fertilizer. That's what I want to do. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to give it too much. I want to give it some water, but I don't want to water it too much. And that's what I do. And when I see my plants respond when that happens, I mean, I just love it. I just love it. I even go out at night sometimes and check on my plants to see how they're doing at night. Wake up early in the morning. That's why I got the name The Morning Gardener. Wake up early in the morning just to check on them, just to see if everything's okay. And if you have that kind of attention, I look at the leaves. I pay attention to the leaves, because the leaves will tell you a lot. When you look at the leaves, you pay attention to the leaves. They'll tell you things. And when you see that, you'll say, okay, I got this. I know what I'm going to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Morning Gardener. Because everybody all quiet here, so videos of that. My trees are doing real good. I still have to do some pruning to the pear tree. Got to do that. The fruit trees, don't try not to. Try not to when you're pruning the fruit trees. If you want them to flush, you want a lot of flush growth, prune them in the fall and winter. If you don't want a lot of flush growth, you want it to actually be less growth, you'll prune them in the warmer season. For the winter, is that what you're saying? Let's see. Have lots. Okay, then I'm looking at something here where you said you use the pine tree needles as a decidifier, so to speak, around your plants that like your plants that love acidic soils. Yeah, absolutely, that would help. I mean, you won't have to go out and buy peat moss and put peat moss around it, because that also can help acidify the soil. Will help the tree become. I mean, help the soil be more acidic. Absolutely. Yep. Because I like I started to use those, but at one point, but I just couldn't find a good source to get them from because I don't have any trees in my location. But I see some when I'm driving from Walmart. I see one or two, trees that I can go and rake up all the, so to speak. But if you have the trees, yeah, you could definitely do that. Water, keep in mind what I was saying earlier part of last month is that if you can get a rain barrel system set up, go ahead and use that. The water is much better than what you're using from your pipes, so to speak, because they use a lot of different chemicals to kill certain bacteria and germs that are in the water, and you need those bacteria that's in the soil to stay alive. You don't need to be killing them while you're watering. You don't want to be doing that. And that's what your pipes will do. And plus, to save money. Bill, was it yesterday? Yeah, I got it yesterday. And I like to put to stay a certain amount. I don't want to wait till summer and be water my garden and see it go up 30, 40 feet to fill up those drums. That 100 gallons of water only takes about 30 minutes at the most to fill up. When I'm getting an average rain, not a real pour down rain, but an average rain. Okay, let's see. The bull. Let's see. You're asking, bringing it in. Is what you're saying? Winter. I don't know what kind of a tropical tree it is or anything, but if it is a tropical tree, a lot of tropical plants, the tree it is, there'll be some specs on it online as well. If you go to, if you Google it, like for instance, I grow kiwi, and kiwi, depending on the type of kiwi plant it is, they're pretty durable when it comes to winter. You could grow them all the way down to zone 4 and 5 and all that 6. Um, but then they have other types that are. But when I look at the plants that are kiwi that will not tolerate temperatures that go below, let's say 30 and 25, they won't tolerate it. But the one that I have is a situation where they can it doesn't need a second plant to cross pollinate, but it is a plant that it doesn't get as big as some varieties of kiwi. Kiwi is can get massive, folks. A kiwi plant. Those kiwi plants that you be buying, some of you be buying in Lowe's, a Home Depot. Some may sell them in Walmart. Those plants will get massive on you, big. Yeah, they will get big on you, and I mean big and powerful. So I don't mess with those types for that reason. The only ones I deal with is the Isaiah, and the Isaiah is That those would do bad. Okay, I think if someone's saying that I'm buffering bad, it's a problem with my Oh, okay, buffering bad, buffering bad. Let's see. Come on, girl. Yeah, I mean that's what I have. I have two rain barrels. I have two, and I got it real cheap. One was given to me. One guy sold me one for $5. I've heard some people going out and paying $60 for a plastic barrel. I just can't see doing that. I can't see doing that. It's too much junk around this planet for you to be paying $60 for a plastic drum, food grade. I mean, you could. It's I went up to a car wash one day, and the guy was just wanting to give them to me for nothing. And I said, "No, that's okay, sir. I'm all right." And he said, "All right, let me know how many you need." And see, what's in those is soap, and I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to do it. But those barrels can be used for other reasons. You know, you could cut them open and make containers for your plants and things like that. Going to the store, paying somebody $40, $50 for a container for your plant to go into, unless this is a decorative situation where you need or want that type of plant. Yeah, okay, I got you. But for raising food, no, you don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that. So he said, "Hello, everyone." He spoke to everyone. He said, everyone's. Yeah. So that's what I do. I make it happen. Because I'm actually going to look through the garage and pull out maybe, I think I got six 5-gallon buckets in there, and I'm going to pull those out. And I'm going to do a nice little mix for watermelons and cantaloupe. Now, if I do buy any seeds, well, I think I have cantaloupe seeds. But if I do buy any seeds, if I do, which I doubt, it will be cantaloupe because I'm going to do two different kind of watermelons. I'm going to do one type of cantaloupe, and that's it. And keep in mind, these are seeds that I have from last year. I'm not buying no more seeds because seeds will last you years if you know how to take care of them and store them properly. Um, and so I'm going to do my regular basil because basil for some reason does very well for me. I don't have any issues with it. I just go ahead, I just take it and scratch up the soil a little bit, put it in the soil and leave it, and and water it, and like that. And I had handful, I mean handful of basil. And the only thing I like to make from it, if I do anything this year with the basil this year, I make a I make some kind of pesto because I made pesto with it, and I learned something about pesto. Do not leave the stems in it because it will make it horrible to eat. Horrible. So this time I know smart enough to know just to use the leaves because no matter how many times it went through that food processor, it did not break up those stems. All right, this has been the Morning Gardener. I'm going to put up a video or two of what I'm doing in the yard. And I'm looking at the time now. I better get out there before it turns dark or before it starts raining. Because I hate to have my electrical equipment out there in the rain, even if it's a cell phone or a camera, a little portable camera. I want to take care of what I have. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Morning Garden. Thank you very much.